Well, good morning and thank you for being part of this discussion. And this is the Political Command Center. Morning Breeze, the segment of the topical discussion. My name is Dalton Kawesa. And on Thursdays, like we've always pledged, is that we look at the economics of this country and the region, try to understand the money markets, but also what is in it for you, the viewer, the person that is trading, the person that is in agriculture, the person that is in mines. What do you need to know about the sector in which you have invested that money, and what you need to do in order to make gains out of it? Everyone wakes up very early in the morning to make an extra shilling on what they slept with. Some do not make it, and many businesses collapse largely because of lack of information and maybe creating the right systems in the given sector where you are applying this trade. My name is Dalton Kawesa, and today we are going to focus on what is happening in the region. Just days, President Museveni and his counterpart signed 8 strategic memorandums of understanding. These 8 memorandums of understanding ranged from mining, agriculture, and transport. But the question is, and before even we go to the question, these MOUs were part of the wider scope of the East African Community and the China-Africa corporations. Do these MOUs that were signed by the President and President Ruto provide a new breath into the trade in the region, or they're just ornamental than functional? Today in the studio here at the Command Center, I have the Executive Director of CRT, that is Jade Nalunga. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. And good morning, our viewers.
Also, I have Mr. Alan Senchondwa. Is that the right pronunciation? Senyondwa. I've given you a different clan. Is the Director Research at Uganda Manufacturers Association. And definitely I will have to dive into what some of these discussions that we need to find out about these MOUs that presidents signed in Nairobi. Yes, I want to begin with you, Alan. We have had numerous MOUs that have been signed by Uganda, but its implementation is often sluggish. What is so different about these ones, and how are we going to act differently, do you think?
Thank you very much, Dalton. Good morning, viewers. You've asked a pertinent question. Allow me to go first to the basics. Is that, number one, trade is the way to go. We can't run away from it.
Absolutely.
No matter how slow and sluggish something may be, but in order for a country to grow, you need to trade. There's no two ways around it. So what about these MOUs and how are they different? The Achilles heel of Uganda's economy or Uganda's development has always been our sluggishness. It is not about the political will, it's not about anything else. We have the political will. The issue has always been, when we sign these MOUs, are we aggressive enough like our Kenyan counterparts? So what we have seen happening is now that we have at least the leader of the finance sector, of the finance ministry, the PSSD, who is always talking about economics that works. And one of the things that we have to quickly do is always fight to implement what we put in the MOUs. So the MOUs are very welcome, but as you have indicated, is when our ministries of trade, East African Community Affairs, the finance ministry, even back home, us organizing the private sector to actually move and do these trades is very key to this to implement.
Jed, let me come. This is your cake, and I want to hear from you. How do we do? What should we done to remove that ink and it has impact, like he has just highlighted?
Okay, thank you so much, Dalton. And I agree entirely with Alan on the issue of implementation. Maybe what I want to clarify is that a number of my friends were saying, why are we signing these MOUs when we already integrated,
Yes.
when we have already that treaty? We have the Common Market Protocol, we have the Customs Union. Why are we signing MOUs?
Together they're now making 25.
Yeah, because we are adding on from, is it 17? And, you know. But you see, when you look at the East African Treaty, it provides for bilaterals, because the treaty provides a broader framework.
Yes.
But the partner states can go deeper, you know. It's like in a family, you are in a family at Dalton, you know, but you have friends within the family, deeper workings, you know, deeper
yes.
cooperation and relationships. So this is what it is also, the MOUs. And the MOUs are really good to address those specific issues between the two countries and to deepen cooperation. So I commend the president because he's really somebody who works on deeper regional integration. And as Alan has pointed out, the way to go is trade. And we have to remember that the global dynamics, trade dynamics are so volatile. You have seen what Trump is doing, putting tariffs all over. When you look at the European Union, telling us if you don't show me that you are not deforesting, don't bring your coffee. So the global terrain is a bit volatile, and we need as a region to come together. So that's really important. So what next?
How do we translate the
into
the impact? Yes.
That's what I wanted to come to. Beyond the photo shoots and the signing, it's really important, and I like the fact that Alan is here. I think he's the one to tell us what next. How do you mobilize your constituency to say this is what we have negotiated, and to be able to mobilize? Because what we negotiate on paper, you need to translate it into action, that these are the opportunities, but these are also the challenges. Because when you negotiate an MOU, an agreement, it's a win-win. Kenya also has something to get out of it, and it's your disadvantage, but you also have something to get out of it. So you need to sit as the private sector to be able to analyze clearly what are the opportunities, but also what are the challenges, so you minimize the challenges and you maximize the opportunities. Unfortunately, Uganda haven't been doing that. Like you are saying, this is an addition.
Yes.
How have we used the previous one? And by the way, it's not just these MOUs. Our Ministry of Trade has been negotiating very good agreements, by the way. I remember way back, I can give you Dalton an example, I know Alan knows it. You know, remember the quotas, when EU used to give us quotas. We could negotiate quotas, and EU could say, I'm giving you a sugar quota of so many tons per year. Bring those tons, you know, and we are going to pay you a price higher than the world market price. Uganda, they gave us a sugar quota. We negotiated a sugar quota, you remember, Alan? We never sent to EU, not even a single grain of sugar.
No, you're lying.
Ask Alan. Mauritius also negotiated, and Mauritius is smaller than us. They gave them a higher quota. They were able to deliver. Yes. And Mauritius has developed on that foundation because they just expanded. So the issue of implementation, Dalton, you are raising a key question. How do we move what's on paper to put it in practice? And that's Alan.
Okay. Alan, very fundamental, Alan, here. And just to bring it home, you raised the aggressiveness of Kenyans. I've seen Kenyans, even in areas where we have pacified. In Somalia, Ugandans went for petty jobs, while Kenyans went for the real strategic jobs. You see them in Congo. Now it brings in the question, these MOUs have been assigned under the China Africa Cooperation Framework. Yes?
Yes.